Welcome back to World Cinema Library.
Hi guys, welcome back. Just imagine sitting in a room where danger doesn't move, doesn't shout, and doesn't rush. A place where intelligence is sharper than any weapon and silence feels louder than screams. You're not threatened openly. Instead, you're slowly broken down through words, glances, and calculated calm. Fear doesn't explode, it creeps in as realization, tightening its grip with every moment. The mind becomes the battlefield, and control shifts without a single drop of blood. This is a world where monsters don't hide in the shadows, they look straight at you and smile. The silence of the lambs invites you into this quiet terror, where survival depends on staying one step ahead of a mind far darker than your own. Clarice Starling, a young FBI trainee, is recruited by Jack Crawford to assist in capturing a serial killer known as Buffalo Bill, who abducts and murders women. Crawford believes the killer's psychology can be understood through Dr. Hannibal Lecter, a brilliant psychiatrist imprisoned for cannibalistic murders. Clarice visits Lecter in a high-security asylum, where he immediately begins psychologically dissecting her. He refuses to help directly and instead demands personal information in exchange for clues. Clarice agrees, slowly revealing her childhood trauma involving the screaming of lambs. Lecter provides cryptic hints that push Clarice toward analyzing the killer's behavior and victims. Meanwhile, Buffalo Bill kidnaps Catherine Martin, the daughter of a US senator, escalating the urgency of the case. Political pressure intensifies as the FBI races against time. Lecter manipulates the situation to improve his own conditions. He is eventually transferred to a temporary holding facility for further cooperation. At the new location, Lecter deceives authorities by pretending to reveal Buffalo Bill's identity while secretly plotting his escape. He brutally kills 2 guards using his intelligence and violence, escaping unnoticed amid chaos. Clarice later realizes that Lecter's final clue points her toward the true identity of Buffalo Bill, Jane Gum. She investigates his background, uncovering his obsession with transformation and his history of rejection. Clarice tracks Gum to his house, while the FBI mistakenly raids another location. Inside the house, she discovers evidence confirming he is Buffalo Bill. Gum stalks Clarice through his dark basement, using night vision goggles to gain advantage. Clarice moves blindly, guided only by sound and instinct. The tension peaks as Gum prepares to kill her. At the last moment, Clarice fires her weapon and kills him. After the rescue, Catherine Martin is found alive, bringing the case to a close. Clarice graduates from the FBI Academy, having proven her courage and capability. However, her ordeal is far from over psychologically. Hannibal Lecter contacts Clarice by phone, congratulating her on her success. He reveals he is free and intends to pursue one of his former captors. Their conversation is calm, polite, and deeply unsettling. Lecter assures Clarice that he has no intention of coming after her. As he walks freely through a crowded public space, his predatory nature remains intact. Clarice listens in silence, knowing some monsters cannot be stopped. The film ends with Lecter disappearing into the crowd. The lambs, finally, have stopped screaming, but the danger still breathes. Jodie Foster delivers a powerful performance as Clarice Starling, portraying vulnerability and strength in perfect balance. Her character feels human, not heroic, which makes her journey emotionally believable. She doesn't rely on dominance or aggression, but on intelligence, patience, and quiet determination. Anthony Hopkins as Hannibal Lecter creates one of cinema's most terrifying villains, using calmness instead of chaos. His controlled voice, minimal movements, and unblinking stare create fear without violence. Lecter feels less like a man and more like a force of nature. The psychological tension between Clarice and Lecter becomes the emotional core of the film. Their scenes feel like verbal duels rather than conversations. Power shifts between them through dialogue alone. Their connection defines the soul of the movie. Ted Levine's portrayal of Buffalo Bill is disturbing, layered, and deeply unsettling without becoming cartoonish. His performance shows confusion, obsession, and broken identity rather than simple evil. The character feels psychologically damaged rather than theatrically monstrous. Scott Glenn as Jack Crawford adds emotional weight through controlled authority and inner conflict. His character represents pressure, responsibility, and moral burden. Every supporting role feels purposeful and grounded. No performance feels exaggerated or artificial. The acting style across the film remains restrained and realistic. This realism makes the horror more believable. Together, the cast creates a psychological world that feels disturbingly real rather than cinematic fantasy. Jonathan Demme's direction in The Silence of the Lambs is precise, controlled, and deeply character-focused, shaping every scene with a psychological intensity that drives the narrative forward. He places the audience inside the perspective of the characters, often using direct-to-camera gazes to make interactions intimate and confrontational. The pacing is steady, allowing tension to grow naturally without rushing the story. Demme avoids sensationalized violence, instead letting fear emerge through atmosphere, performance, and silence. Each scene is meticulously framed to highlight character emotion and power dynamics. His approach ensures that suspense comes from the mind rather than spectacle. Even the smallest gestures are loaded with meaning, making the thriller both cerebral and emotionally engaging. This disciplined direction elevates the movie into a timeless psychological masterpiece. Howard Shore's music and sound design complement Demme's vision with subtlety and precision. The score is haunting yet restrained, rarely overwhelming and always supporting the mood of each scene. Silence is used as a critical tool, making the smallest noises, footsteps, breathing, or distant echoes feel menacing. Sound editing enhances tension without relying on jump scares or dramatic cues. The film's SFX are realistic, creating immersive environments that heighten fear without being flashy. Locations, from sterile FBI offices to dark, claustrophobic basements, are captured with careful attention to natural acoustics. Practical effects and green matte usage are minimal but effective, ensuring realism is never compromised. Even the visual effects and CGI are subtle, used only when necessary to maintain continuity or enhance suspense. Cinematography, editing, and production design form the visual backbone of the film's tension. Close-up shots dominate key scenes, forcing viewers into uncomfortable proximity with the characters and their emotions. Lighting is carefully controlled, often cold or muted to reflect psychological isolation and danger. Shadows and framing emphasize the power dynamics, and the camera lingers just long enough to create unease. Editing is tight yet unhurried, letting suspense breathe and allowing dramatic moments to resonate fully. The production design, including FBI offices, hospitals, and the killer's lair, is grounded and realistic, adding authenticity to every scene. Location choices are critical, from urban streets to remote houses, each adding layers of mood and threat. Costume and set details are restrained, supporting realism rather than spectacle. The Silence of the Lambs is a masterpiece that keeps viewers on the edge of their seats from start to finish. Its strength lies in the perfect balance between psychological tension and gripping storytelling. The performances, especially by Jodie Foster and Anthony Hopkins, are iconic and unforgettable, drawing the audience deep into the characters' minds. The film doesn't rely on cheap scares, but builds fear through intelligence, atmosphere, and suspense. Every scene is meticulously crafted, making the viewer feel both immersed and uneasy. The story explores complex themes like courage, obsession, and the human mind, offering more than simple entertainment. Its pace, tension, and clever plotting ensure that there is never a dull moment. Even decades after its release, the film feels relevant and compelling. Audiences are compelled to watch not just for the mystery, but for the unforgettable cinematic experience it delivers. Simply put, it is a must-watch for anyone who appreciates masterful storytelling and psychological thrills. IMDb rating: 8.6 out of 10.
Don't miss the next movie. Like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.